discriminate between the real and the less real. There are many levels of consciousness. There are many opportunities for goodness in this world.
Nestling within the quiet valley lies the deeply historic and beautiful Chadkirk Chapel. Cocooned by nature and protected by its imposing beauty. The origins of the chapel are lost within the mist of time. Myths, legends, whispers and echoes. Legend has it that Chadkirk is associated with the 7th century missionary Saint Chad. Saint Chad was a key figure in introducing Christianity, and his name can be associated with numerous churches, religious foundations, and settlements. When he became a bishop, he visited everywhere that he possibly could on foot, preaching the gospel, seeking out the poorest of the poor, offering them help and guidance in the way of God. The first documented account was in 1374 with the name of Chadkirk. In the 16th century, it was used as a chantry chapel by the Davenport family, who claimed to have founded the chapel. They acquired the land, but at the time of the suppression of the chantries, and the chapel was seized by the crown. The family argued the case and fought tooth and nail. Luckily, it was allowed to be kept for family use. However, in due course, the building fell into disrepair and it was abandoned, neglected, for almost 40 years before being restored and used by the Church of England. Over the course of its life, it's been restored several times, but in 1876 saw the removal of all the church pews and gallery. The last renovation was in 1994, and the building is as you see today. But to add to the magic and mystique of the whole story, the chapel has its own ancient Celtic well. Saint Chad was regarded as the patron saint of wells and springs. In the Middle Ages, a well dedicated to Saint Chad was said to have had medicinal qualities, and its own water would act as a miracle cure to suffering people. Ancient Celtic sites were often associated in the form of sacred pools and springs, where offerings were made to the gods. Offerings such as hand-picked flowers from nearby. These were seen as a common gift of gesture, a way of thanking the gods for overseeing events in their life, a resolution to hunger, praying for strong crops to grow on the farmland, or just for listening to them throughout the struggles of life. A glimmer of hope. So where we are today, and this right here is St Chad's. It's a beautiful old chapel. You will have seen a bit of history about this at the beginning of the video, and throughout the whole of the premises there's little things like this, little carvings and pieces of like you know, artifacts, little strange artifacts that sort of are eye-catching. But what I'm going to do today, I mean, this here, just give you a bit of detail about it. This is just a carving of a monk that sort of represent, you know, the type of characters that would have sort of been around here back in the day in St Chad's. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? And if I just spin you around, they've got like a little stall on today, like jumble sales and stalls, little homemade sort of you know, homemade food and stuff like that. But it's absolutely stunning. And this place is nestled away in Stockport. You'd never think it, would you? Look at that. And this tree here, this is a monkey puzzle tree, and I've just been reading up about them. They sort of originate from Chile and South America, and they're actually classed, you know, like you have endangered species. They're an endangered sort of tree, and there isn't many of these about, so it's quite rare that you actually see one. But what I'm going to do today, like I say, I'm going to show you around all this place in its beauty. And there's a little beautiful bit here. Now, through these gates, it reminds me of the film The Secret Garden. So let's go and have a look, eh? It just reminds me of like The Secret Garden because it's beautiful. And look at that. Absolutely stunning. And I came here last week with my dad, but then when I've looked at the footage back, the camera work's absolutely shocking. So I've come back to sort of reshoot this bit. But what we did, we sort of went along, where did we go? The River Goyt around here. And we did a bit of magnet fishing, which you'll see later on in the video. But let me just walk you around these gardens because they're absolutely beautiful. I'm trying my best to keep the camera as smooth as I possibly can. But this section of Chadkirk Chapel, it's sort of hugged by the beauty of actual nature. All these beautiful trees that sort of surround it. It's absolutely stunning. Beautiful colour flowers. Old industrial sort of nods to the industrial past, you know, things like this that would have been used for farming and stuff. But it's a nice little piece of tranquility, this, in Chadkirk. And I'll just show you this bit here. So this is an actual beehive where they make the honey. beautiful is this now? So you can actually smell the sweetness of the honey. But I won't go in because I don't want to disturb them, but this is where all the bees come to make it. You can see a few just swarming about. How cool's that? Let's leave them to it, eh? Just make sure it's properly tied back. There we go. So moving on slightly now, and I'm going to take you actually into this beautiful place here. Now the chapel's here on the left, but if you just look onto the floor, these are actual headstones and graves. And there's a very strange and unique grave in this section. Now, as you can see on the floor, some of these date right back. This is 1839 and it's just got B, W and P. Like, some of them are probably pauper graves. Others, there's like sections of families. But like I said, there's one that really does stand out, and it's very, it's horrific. You know, it's a very, very terrible way to actually pass. And it's this one here. Now this is the grave of a man called Thomas Woolley, and it says, the above Thomas Woolley, whose death was caused by the electric fluid, by the electric fluid in a thunderstorm, which occurred on the 23rd of May 1850, in his 72nd year of his age. Now, this guy actually died by being in a thunderstorm, and the lightning struck him and killed him. Now, the terminology that they use, this is what I'm saying, and graveyards are really, you know, the great pieces of actual evidence of the history, because electrical fluid in a storm, now that, today we'd say thunder and lightning, you know, he got struck by lightning, but they actually called it electrical fluid in a storm. Now this little section here, it has echoes of a video that I did. You can go and watch it back on my channel, and it's the graveyard, the forgotten graveyard of Salford. And Victorian sort of terminology back then is they would word things differently, and one of them being in the graveyard that I remember standing out was frog on stomach or frog on chest, which represented a hernia, but they didn't know how to class it back in the day, so they called it what they saw. And this one here, electrical fluid in a thunderstorm, you know, they called it electrical fluid rather than thunder and lightning. And my dad actually said to me that back then they probably saw that as a wrath of God, you know, given that they were so religious and stuff like that, and they couldn't really explain what it were. But this, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And it's in this beautiful grounds of the chapel. But look at it, and it's stunning. If you just pan you up here too, like I said, it's encased and sort of hugged by nature. And then I'll pop you over the wall here, and this will you'll see inside the secret garden. But it's stunning in there. And I'll just quickly pan you onto this here. Listen to this. It says, many of the gravestone inscriptions are of interest. The oldest one surviving is that of Martha G, who died on the 22nd of January 1762, age 5. Another is a memorial to Thomas Woolley, whose death on the 23rd of May in 1870, in his 72nd year, was caused by electric fluid in a thunderstorm. Wow. And all that little bit of history, you know, all the history that's gone on, that is here. It's at this beautiful chapel. You know, you don't really see things like this anymore. This is a true testament to time and history. And this also caught my eye. Like, I was having a bit of a mooch around some of the graves, just reading them in general, and I noticed at the back of the church, at the back of the chapel, is the original timber framed. How beautiful is that? I went back a week later, and luckily I was allowed to film. An atmosphere like no other was hanging in the air. The emotions of time, the mist of the past. From the monks that apparently lived there all those years ago.
There are many opportunities for goodness in this world.
I could visualise the room how it would have looked back then, with the beautiful hand-carved church pews and the stunning gallery that once so proudly was a part of the building, before it was carelessly ripped out by the Victorians. From the Davenport family who fought tooth and nail just to keep it in the family, before times changed and it became neglected and abandoned for over 4 decades. It's been loved and it's been unloved. It's seen each era come and go. Births, deaths, marriages. It's outlived them all. Still standing. An ancient relic. A gift from the past to be admired by the present. So I've just been reading some of the actual headstones, and it's such a shame because a lot of the people that are actually buried in here are young people. You know, they didn't really live long. 16-year-old, 17 years old, 5-year-old. You know, I suppose it was that sort of era, you know, when the cholera was about and just hygiene was really low, and the death rate for sort of young families, people having families, you know, the kids didn't last that long if they wasn't looked after correctly. But a lot of that was down to, you know, money. People trying to bring money in to provide for their families. And like I always say it in these videos, but this is why people were so desperate for work, because they had to provide for their families, and contraception was pretty much non-existent. So, you know, hence why there were so many back in the day. There was big families of 8, families of 9, families of 10. So as you can imagine, the mums and dads would have would have the work cut out to provide, and as a result of not making enough money, you know, a lot of these poor little kids, they sort of died over the few months or years of their lives. It wasn't uncommon that someone would live to, say, well, within 6 months, or to die after, say, 3-4 years, you know, if they wasn't being looked after properly. But some of them are in that little graveyard there, and it hits home. It's really sad, but it's such a beautiful place to come and visit. And like, I'm round here now, look, it's just so peaceful. But anyway, moving on to the next bit now. This is something special, and I haven't seen anything like this in Manchester. I could be completely wrong, there could be, but I've never personally seen anything like this, and it is definitely a gem. Now, I should have put this probably in one of my videos, but this is definitely a gem, and it's a hidden gem. This is the well of St Chad. Look at that. How impressive is that? How beautiful is it? Look at that. Wow. The detail that's gone into that and the work is unbelievable. And like I say, people do offer, you know, they throw flowers in the well at the side. And I'll show you a little clip. I came back here last week with my dad. So what I'll do is I'll show you the clip over the top of that. But I'm just absolutely over the moon that the one day that I've turned up to reshoot and the well's actually dressed. Unbelievable. This is a tradition that has gone on for absolutely, it could even be like hundreds of years that they've always done this. So I'll just bring you over to this bit here. It says ancient Celtic sites were often associated with water in forms of sacred pools and springs where offerings were made to gods. Places where pagan worship had taken place were often adopted by missionaries for Christian worship. This may be the way that our well came to be associated with St. Chad. Now what you sort of do is you give an offering, like what my dad's going to do now, and you offer mainly flowers and stuff to the well. And it's sort of a thing to say, you know, thank you to the gods, and the pagans really believed in it. And it's sort of, yeah, it's like a way of saying thank you. And people used to do it for things in their life. The crops, you know, made sure that the crops grew strong and well. Stuff like that. And people would come here, you know, they see it as a point of worship. And, you know, you can imagine over the years of people that would have come here, sort of, this place gave them hope, especially back when this was built, you know. But how, like, bizarre is it? Something on a little road leading up to a farmhouse, and then you've got like another farm here, and then all this farmland, and then sort of cut away in a piece of a wall is St. Chad's well. And it's still being used today. When I came here a couple months back, this place was just littered with flowers. So people still actually use it, you know, and believe that this offers hope and a way of saying thank you. You know, if you are religious, it's a way of saying thank you to the gods for whatever may be going on in your life. So how beautiful is that? You know, a tradition that's carried out over all them years into modern day today. I find it fascinating, and it's really heartwarming to see something like that still. So, as you can see, it's raining. And last week when I came here with my dad, it was cracking the flags. So without further ado, I'm going to pan you back now to that very day. So we're just sat by the river, and it's perfect time to stop for a brew, something to eat.
You got a brew?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is what you want. Oh, Daft Monkey one.
Sister got me that for my birthday, so nice one, huh? I'll try one.
Food of the gods.
See, I'm not a fan of peanut butter.
I love it, mate. I have it on everything. You don't like peanut butter on bread and then got a glass of cold milk?
No. I used to love it as a kid, I just don't like it now.
I don't toast?
No.
Gotta admit that's nice, haven't you? Go on, say it.
I can't even taste peanut butter in it.
What's
Get in there.
Landed on it.
Yeah, I can taste peanut butter now. It's nice.
Converted now, aren't you?
Oh, shit. Just dropped it.
5 second meal.
Oh, I can't eat it now.
I'll have it.
Maybe I did it deliberately. Coffee.
Mm.
Now, I didn't make this coffee, so if it's horrible, You always slag my coffee off. You want me? Oh, that's nice.
It depends on the coffee you use, which coffee you use.
Nescafe. Don't mess about with Kenko.
Get that out.
What have you got now? There we go. Geared up here. I mean, if you give me an option, obviously you're driving.
Oh, no.
I would have brought a beer instead of coffee, but...
Shindigger.
Yeah, Shindigger.
You could put it in the water to cool as well.
Alright.
Don't I get one?
Yeah, this is yours.
No cakes out, no.
No, not today.
I could have got...
You know what I did have?
What?
And I was going to bring last night's pizza.
Oh, was it?
Takeaway, yeah, but someone binned it this
You
morning.
bin a pizza. It's always better next day.
I know. Someone binned it.
I think
Mentioning
it's
no
like
names.
a curry, innit? Curry tastes nicer the next day.
Yeah,
That's not bad, that.
nice coffee that. It's that dead fine one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I always have it, but it's pretty strong. I don't like weak coffee. I like strong coffee.
I like the Kenko because it's rich, it's dark. I like it really strong. About 3
It
spoons.
takes me literally about 2 hours to actually come round and wake up in the morning. So when I have that coffee, it gives me like a slap round face, like you've been tangled. It's like one of them.
See, I used to always have a brew in the morning, but now
Coffee in it. We've turned American.
we have.
What we're going to do is going to sort of comb this beach area. Throw the magnet in, do a bit of magnet fishing, see if anything pops up. But I mean, like when I went to the other week, I went to the River Mersey with Martin and Danny and my dad. And when we was actually on the banks of the Mersey, I couldn't believe what was in front of me. There was literally so many pieces of artefacts from, you know, you're talking a couple of 100-year-old in front of you. Pieces of old like clogs that were washed up and
Oysters, weren't they?
oysters, yeah. It's bizarre what you can find actually on it. So I thought, you know what? When I go and do Chadkirk, this Goyt, last time I came here, I actually came on my bike, and on the way home I stopped and I had a look, and there was all sorts, bits of pottery and stuff. So I've just took a detour on my way home from work on my bike because someone suggested that I come this way, and I didn't know this was on my doorstep. Just look at that behind me. Absolutely beautiful. Just the sound of that water. I love it. So if you've got a bike or whatever, I suggest you get on it. Get out and get exploring, especially on a day like today. See you later. Just a quick shout out here to Docking Bay 51 or Presswich Mudlarking Magpie, because there's a bit of pottery here. It might interest you.
It's called mudlarking, isn't it?
Yeah, there's stuff all around here, so hopefully we'll find some nice things.
This is sort of like a double whammy, isn't it? So it's like mudlarking and magnet fishing.
Yeah. I mean, if you imagine you found something going back a few 100 years, you know what I mean? You don't know if it's connected to the area, to an old factory that could have been around here. Even remnants of parts of the old chapel at some point. You know, things get discarded into rivers, don't they?
Yeah.
But I had to come and have a look on here because it's just too good of an opportunity to turn down. Actually not use these since we went Clifton Marina. Hence why they're in a bag. Hanging these put on.
Really look it.
Once they're on, they're actually quite comfy. It's just that it's quite a muggy day today.
Yeah.
It's
Daft monkey in his waders.
Smack myself in.
Smack myself in.
God, wedging myself.
Put weight on since last time you used them.
I have. I don't need reminding.
Lockdown belly.
Down, that's what it is. God, that's a snug fit, that. It's right up the old.
Right. Give us a spin.
Hold on.
What's that?
I wondered where that went.
Ah. Is that
I've
mine?
had the house upside down for that for absolute ages. Oh, wow. Found it. That's caused arguments, that.
Yeah. Daft monkey takes a plunge. You know what I'm hoping for, don't you? You know what I'm hoping for?
Yeah, no. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, just cast it in, see what you get.
Better be no sharks in here.
So this is magnet fishing, and it does exactly what it says on the label. You just have a nice strong magnet on the end of some rope and pull it through. It's really good on canals, really. We've tried it on canals and it's really good on them. But you never know what you find. Probably a load of old nails. Can't wait, I hope he goes in.
Deep here.
Get in.
Oh, it's freezing. There'll not be no pikes in here.
Of course he is. Yeah, that one jumped before that fish.
Yeah.
Oh, watch you don't jump down the front of your wellies. Remember when I got a metal detector and we went out on it with it, and we found bits, but we got this really strong signal, and Anthony wouldn't give it up. We didn't have a spade with us, nothing, so he's digging with his bare hands. He said, "I'm not leaving it. Could be something important." Anyway, we was there for about 45 minutes digging this thing out, and when we found out what it was the top of a fridge. Is that all your haul you found? A shoe and a wheel?
There's a hole in it. It's got a hole in it. Don't know how that is.
Someone's pride and joy, that. They must have liked them that much. They've worn them out. Let's have a look what you caught him. Look at that. A sole fish. Teacher's shoe, that, isn't it? What's
what
that?
this is? It's got something wrote on it though.
Bit of cast, is it cast?
It's got something wrote on it here.
It's been a wheel
I think
or
it
something.
says Manchester.
It's been a wheel.
Some sort of wheel, yeah. Yeah.
I bet it's off one of them things we used to have on the trains for carrying luggage.
Let's say Donegal.
Donegal?
D-O-N.
Oh, I can see.
D-O-N. Doncaster.
Doncaster.
And that says, yeah, Doncaster too. It's faded. See the Esther there.
Been in there a bit, that, hasn't it?
God, I wonder what that was off then. Old train wheel. Like
No.
one of the miniature railway ones.
I don't know, it could be off a thing, you know.
It's off a wheel. Could be off a coal cart.
Coal cart, could be coal cart, Doncaster, Mills, collieries. It could be off, you know, the railway they used to carry the luggage on.
Yeah, I think that it's miniature, isn't it? Like, so I think that's off a coal cart.
Could be,
You know, a wheel.
yeah.
Wow.
You keeping that?
No.
It's been in there a bit, hasn't it, that?
Been in there ages. So if anyone knows,
What that's off?
yeah, maybe Danny might know about that.
Yeah.
That's definitely off a cart.
Could be, you know, the cart that used to carry the coal up through the mines.
That's what I mean.
You know, pull it through.
Yeah.
Either pull it with the pit pony or pull it on ropes.
That's a bit of history, that, isn't it?
Yeah, Doncaster, it's probably from the mines, you know, around Doncaster.
So an old shoe with an hole in it.
Somebody's best
I was
shoe,
hoping,
that.
you know,
Wonder where the other one is.
finding like at least a coin.
Mm.
But there's all stuff in the water there.
Yeah. Perhaps the guy who owned the shoe threw the other one in like Gandhi did.
I mean, look
His
at
flip flop.
So we're going in. It's at River Goyt. And I just found like the old, what appears to be off an old cart, which I'm pretty convinced it is. Could be wrong, but it does look like that. But the reason I'm taking you near is one, you get to see how stupid I look. Ready? Look at them. Amazon's finest. And two, we're going to scour through the actual river and, you know, see if we can see anything with the eye rather than the magnet, because I saw loads when I was in here. There's pieces of pottery and everything. Oh, nearly. So I'll pan you down now onto the floor. So we are now just scouring. I mean, it's a bit clearer over here. It's all, I mean, these are house bricks. Look at these. They're actual house bricks. That's, I think, that these once held someone's house or building, and now that they're in the water, and possibly sat there for absolute ages, you know, years and years and years. Another one here. See if there's anything on it. No. We're going to find another wheel, won't it? Oh. Pottery wedged in there. I mean, that's been the base or something, hasn't it? You know, possibly an old vase or something. I mean, I didn't really envision me Saturday sort of morning to be trundling through it. It was sort of a last minute thing, and I thought, you know what, if I'm going there, I'll bang me waders in. There I am. Oh, what I'll do is I'll go further down as well, because I'll follow it all the way down here. And last time I was there, that's where I did find all pieces of pottery, old artifacts from where, you know, stuff from people's houses where they used to live. For some reason or another, they've ended up in here. Look at that. No way. It's definitely off someone's bit of an ornament, isn't it? Off your cart? Old bottle top? Sign of good luck, Dad. Well, nice. Daft as it sounds, it's really clear, this sort of stretch. Look at this, an old Victorian shoe. Vans. What's this? Wow, look at that. Piece of tiling. Wow. How cool's that? What else is no way, look at that. Wow. Oh, that's mint. It's been like an old like ginger jar top, hasn't it? This video sort of, it was just a bit of a mooch around Chadkirk Chapel really. to show you bits of the history, how beautiful it is, and then end it on a bit of a mudlark, because like I said, I came here on my bike and I found loads of little bits and bobs in the river, so I thought, why not sort of mingle the two together, do a bit of Chadkirk and then a bit of mudlarking if you want. Very poorly, but yeah, I've been a bit quiet on social media and I've been a bit quiet filming lately. I've had a lot going on in my actual life that I've needed to prioritise. Obviously I love filming and I love, you know, making sort of documentaries and stuff like that, but this one's just going to ease me back in. Like I say, I've had some things going on and I've had to prioritise them over filming, but hopefully this will be the end of it now and I can get back to doing what I love, which is trundling through rivers on a Sunday morning in waders. So, but thank you for all of you, the people that, there's been a few people reach out to me and a few people asking how I am, because I've been a bit quiet, but it was just something I had to do lately. So, but thank you for your concerns and everything. Yeah, so like I say, this will be it now. This will be it, me back out and doing what I love best. Look at the pattern on that. That's getting pulled up. I don't care how much hard it takes me. Wow, look at that. Let's try and wipe it off. Look at that. Look at it engraved. Wow. And look, that's big. Some sort of old vase for someone's garden, maybe. I tell you what, it's quite fast paced on here. Can't half feel it pull you back. Look at that, buzzing with that. I'll wash it up so it can be a bit clearer. That's just my dad there, talking to a tree. It's just something he likes to do on his weekends. Finds a nice tree that he likes to speak to and just starts talking to it. Crazy. Dad, check this. What do you reckon this is? Oh, look at that. Get the detail in that.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
I think it's been like round a cove.
I reckon it's, yeah, it could have been like the top of a fireplace, it could have been in a toilet, a public toilet or something, or it could have been like a bordering.
I thought it was possibly the base of a vase in a garden.
Could be. Yeah, it could be.
Do you know what I mean? I mean,
numerous things that could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's flat there, isn't it?
yeah, so that'd be the bottom.
So, yeah.
So it'd be that way up.
Look at the engraving on
I
that.
know. And carve that as well.
It's solid
Nice bit of stonework, that, isn't it?
stone, isn't it?
It's mad that. I wonder how long that's been buried.
Victorian, that,
Gotta be on it.
I mean, we don't do stuff like that now, do we?
No.
Victorian times, yeah.
Incredible, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's come out.
I mean, that's been, someone's actually gone and bought that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's probably been passed on from people to people and bought and sold so many times.
Yeah.
And now it's actually just sat
Look at
here. Look at the detail in it.
I mean, it's proper carved. It's not like machine carved, is
Oh,
it?
that's stonework, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I find this incredible here. I mean, that's either a path that led all the way over to here, or it's been a, I don't know, possibly a collapsed bridge. Well, let's walk the actual cobbles all the way through to the other side. So you can still see them here. Wow. After doing some research, I realised I was walking on the remains of an old ford that would have been built hundreds of years ago, used as a crossing over the water by farmers on horse and cart, members of the chapel, each cobble carefully placed in front of another. And for it still to be there after all them years, really did start to make me think. Looking back at the old map, I discovered it was used as a direct path to the beautiful Chadkirk Chapel. And the gems and remnants, wow, look at that, that was once someone's possessions, now buried underneath the water, like treasure from the past. These are artifacts, each object telling its own story. A story from a bygone era. It's been like an old, like ginger jar top, hasn't it? A time that is no more, but will never be forgotten. Right, so we're going to wrap it up here now. Like I say, this was to sort of get me back into the swing of things, and you know, hopefully it'll have a bit of everything. It's had a bit of history, it's had you know, even including the well, like something really like a hidden gem. And then we finished it off with a bit of a mudlark, probably in a very bad way, but you know, we tried. So until next time, see you later. Cheers.